Hello, everybody. I'm here with David Kell this morning. He's been working with me for the last 6 months in my program, Radiance, Freedom Through Movement and Food. But David and I have actually been working together for about 2 years now to help address some of the challenges that he was having. So welcome, David. Would you like to tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, your background, and just kind of a little bit about the things that have been going on in your body throughout your life, the different activities that you've engaged in, and things like that?
Yeah, well, I was a high school teacher on my feet all day long, and for fun, I went backpacking and climbing and got into mountaineering and rock climbing and carrying heavy packs and having some injuries along the way. Got into skiing, had some ski accidents, bike accidents. So my body was fairly beat up, and then started losing. I've lost 5 inches in height, so my body progressing. Used to be 6'4", I'm 5'11" now. So yeah, and then so along the way, I've been involved with many types of therapies. Usually, there where you would be more passive, and the practitioner would be doing things to you. And some of them I absolutely love acupuncture. I love acupuncture. Did shiatsu and jinjutsu, where they're working with meridians and pressure points. And I would always go into a trance and have a wonderful experience. Started yoga when I was young. And through the Gestalt Institute here in Phoenix, I was introduced to Feldenkrais at a workshop. So I had an early, this is back in the 1970s when I was just coming to America. So I was introduced to that. And then I did Neo-Reiki and Radix body therapy. Therapists would you get in a stress position. Reich's theory was that you, by unresolved psychological issues, you body armor and you tense up and your body gets tense. So they work to let that relieve. And Rolfing does the same thing. Ida Rolf came right from Reich also. So I did quite a few years of Rolfing. So those were all wonderful experiences, and I learned a lot. But when I, started to find out about somatics, it's a little different, and I really incorporated it into my life.
Wonderful. Yeah. So when we started working together 2 years ago, tell everybody a little bit about what was going on with you when I met you, what was going on with your body, and what kind of difficulties you were having.
Okay, well, the first issue was I have stenosis, scoliosis in my neck, and it was really starting to tilt, and I was having a lot of tensions, and so you've taught me how to relieve those tensions, by doing these simple motions, and less is better, and in between the motions, you relax. And you let your body relax. Your body knows how to relax when you just relax. A year ago, suddenly my psoas muscles around my hip were really bothering me. I had had that hip replaced 10 years ago. If you treat your replaced joints well, they'll last your lifetime. For instance, if you ski on a replaced knee and you run on it every day, you're going to need a new knee again. Well, I hadn't treated this hip badly, but suddenly my hip was really hurting, and it was complaining a lot, and I was having trouble doing simple walking, etc. So we worked on that, and all of a sudden it had just resolved.
Yeah, you're not having that hip pain. And when you do feel stuff in your neck, do you feel like equipped to do something about it, right? Like when
yeah. When I'm driving, if I'm not driving, if I'm say my neck's suddenly feeling tight, I just do the neck release motions, and then I let it relax. You do the motion and you relax, and boom.
Yes, wonderful. Yeah. So so you kind of answered the next question, how has your somatic training helped these issues? But you kind of just said it, really, is that you're able to let go of the pain as it arises. And when you had this specific issue going on, we focused on it for a while until it integrated and resolved in your body. That's really wonderful.
Yeah, the big one is when I'm working in the garden, my back, if I'm reaching forward and lifting, my back's going to be tight. I'm trying to, bend my knees and do it properly, but sometimes your back just starts to complain. And when it happens, I just stop what I'm doing and I do what's called the red light, green light trauma, where you're tightening and releasing front, back, and each side. And my back usually just melts away.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's a great tool to have. Yeah. So, what have you enjoyed about working with me?
Well, I always enjoy, as I say, with the different times I've been in different types of therapies, having a person lead. I find with yoga too, I like going to a yoga class more than I like doing yoga alone. But you have a particular talent and just really gently directing through the motions. Uh, and I just always go like into a trance. I get to a place where I'm just feeling so good. And by the end of the session, I'm feeling great.
Yes, wonderful.
Never great at the end of the session.
Say that again.
I've never not felt wonderful at the end of a session.
Yeah, that's definitely like one of my goals. I want to make sure you're leaving in a comfortable state. If there's something going on right there at the end, we try to work it out. So,
And then I also enjoy getting to know the people in the training group. So not a training group, but the somatic group we've been doing. First, I started alone, and then when the ladies joined, I just enjoyed that every week.
beautiful. Yeah. So in this 6-month program, Radiance, we're combining Hannah somatic education with a food conversation to help you become more empowered about your food choices and support your life through eating. So, what would you say are your 3 biggest takeaways from the Radiance program?
Well, again, learning to relax is the main one, but with the diet, I was already didn't have much meat, although I would not say I went to a friend's house and they were having burgers or whatever. I would have it, pork, fish, but I have much less on my own now. Uh, but the 2 big ones that I hadn't focused on before were oils and salt. And so I really cut down on my use of oils. When I'm making a salad dressing, I still use some oil, but a tiny bit of oil, not the gobs of oil I used to use. And he taught me to balance the calories with the milligrams of sodium and try to keep those in balance. When you look at labels, it's shocking how much salt is in them. Sometimes, in one serving, you're having more than what you should have in a day, even by the federal guidelines. So those have really helped me.
Wonderful. Yeah, I know that you were even monitoring your blood pressure in relation to like food that you were eating sometimes so that you could actually see the effect on your blood pressure when you would go out to a restaurant or when you would go eat some, prepared food somewhere versus when you were more conscious of that at home, that there was a little change.
Oh, and when you go out and you have normal salty foods, sometimes it's shocking how salty it tastes.
Mhm.
And there's natural salts, there's always already sodium in food, just naturally, just in, certain, vegetables, etc. But so your body, your taste buds do change, you change
Yeah,
what for. Because
excellent.
some I look at an oily thing and I'm thinking, just I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, that there's been a shift for me too. If I eat some very oily, salty vegetables, like it's less appealing. I actually want to like take a napkin and like remove some of the oil from it or something. So
Yeah.
totally different perspective. Well, thank you for sharing that. And the other question here I want to ask you is that um, I talk a lot about turning off muscular tension. Do you feel like you've been able to learn how to do that?
Yeah. And yeah, and it's more, yeah, it turns off. Like I said, well say sometimes I do a lot of we talked about the red light, green light uh, around my swimming. Swimming is my main. I'm in aerobic exercise now, but I'll oftentimes do a little bit before I get in the pool. sometimes if I'm swimming laps, I swim in a pool where I can stand up. So I'll just do the neck exercises during my swim. And I've even noticed sometimes if I'm feeling a little tight when I'm doing the dolphin kick, I'm underwater. When I hit the glide, I'm gliding and I just feel the muscles relax. And I really feel them relaxing, and it feels so good.
Yeah, beautiful. You've really developed that skill and that awareness, I've noticed, because there was one time you told me about going on a hike and how you started to experience this relaxing in between your steps. And I thought that was really cool that you could actually feel that there was a little bit of space between each step for your body to just kind of settle before taking the next step.
Well, that's what I found. One of the hardest things you taught was with the red light, green light, and then they call it the trauma motions. They're really related to walking, and when you're doing those, you're lengthening the side that is reaching out and shortening the side that's going to step. Well, it's hard to get that. Like when you were first teaching that to me, I would walk around the block and I'm like, I'm just not getting this. Next week, I didn't get it yet. And so one day, as the light bulb went on, I really got it.
Yeah, yeah, gorgeous. Yeah, that's great. It does happen like that. It doesn't make sense until all of a sudden things kind of come together inside our bodies and we have a new awareness of something, right?
And then getting back to when you're directing us as a group or individually, when you're saying you do the movement and then okay, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing a slight movement, I'm not moving very much, and then you say, do half that. And once you get that concept of it, you don't have to keep trying so hard.
Mm.
Less is better. Just let
Yeah.
it happen, and it happens.
Awesome. Yes, because we're retraining your body for effortless movement
Yeah.
rather than every little thing that we do having to be so full of effort, right? Yeah. Beautiful. Are you going to would you recommend this program to others?
Oh,
Who do you,
sure.
who do you think would benefit from the work?
Not anyone. I mean, I think even sedentary people get tensions. Get tension headache, whatever. If you're just sitting, well, even somebody who's sedentary, then that's hard on your body because you might be sitting and reading, and people get neck tensions, however their lifestyle. And I think anybody would benefit from this.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to say, I feel like you've been a dream client with all of the background in different kinds of healing modalities that you've done. I often feel like you were really primed for really appreciating this type of work. So yeah, it's been really amazing to work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to continue your daily practice? What would you say is the
Oh,
best part of having a daily practice?
well, so the longer, we've worked out some of the longer, so a whole series of movements, and sometimes, rarely I do it in the morning. Lately, I've been enjoying doing it more before I go to bed. Sometimes I'm just so tired. I don't think, okay, I'm not going to do it. But then you've also, we talked about recently, when I just get in bed, I can do some of them in bed, and that's really, really nice. Throughout the day, like I was describing, when I'm swimming or when I'm working in the yard, I'm just okay. I'm feeling a little tension, let it go.
Mm. So it's really integrated, hasn't it,
Oh
into
yeah.
your
Oh,
daily experience in your body?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably, I'd say that's a really brilliant part of it, is
And
that you're just using it
getting
all the time.
getting back to the same one as in my 20s, if I started getting a tight back, the main thing people would say, talking to doctors or my friends, whoever, is don't push it, just let it go. Lie down and don't. I'd try to crack my back when it was tight, which is opposite what you should be doing, but it would tighten up. So I would just, okay. So I just take off doing everything for a couple of days, but I felt like it was out of my control.
Mm.
Now I don't feel like I'm controlling it, but I'm just, by letting it resolve itself in a thoughtful way, it resolves much quicker.
Yeah, and you're doing something active to address it, right?
Right.
You're not just having to like lay there and wait for it to work itself out
Yeah.
entirely. you
Which,
can do a movement that's going to encourage that to happen in your body, that you're, yeah.
anybody who's ever had a spasm, like just for some reason, oh, I had a waterbed. I think when I had a waterbed in my 20s, maybe that's why my lower back would get tight. I'm not a big fan of those. But and then when a couple times I fell and my wrenched my neck, and my neck would go into a spasm. And when you're in that spasm, it's just like it's bad pain, and you just feel like you're at the mercy of the pain. And I think all these, I mean, if I fell right now, I could still have a spasm come out of nowhere if I wrenched my neck in a certain way. But I feel like I have more of more skills to let it resolve, help it, and me directing the resolution rather than just lying there waiting for it to go away.
Yeah, beautiful, wonderful. Yeah, this really is a life skill that you've learned, and I'm so happy to have gotten the chance to work with you, and I'm sure we're going to continue to work together. Thank you for sharing your experience with everyone today, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and everything that you're headed out to. What are you going to do today?
Oh, I'm gonna have my house remodeled, and I have to move out a half of my house, so I'm working on that.
Yeah, yeah, and probably bring a few of your somatic movements into your day as you're
Right,
picking up boxes and carrying things.
right, right.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, David.
Okay, bye bye.